So, this episode, are you familiar with Benkei?
Vaguely.
I know it's like a whole I remember him from like Okami. It's like a whole gag where it's like there's like a
He won't
legendary.
let the
Yeah.
yeah, in Okami he's fishing for the legendary sword, which is like a swordfish, and he won't lower the bridge until he catches it.
Yeah, that seems to be a common in folklore. Is that it's like, oh, he stands on a bridge and, he's got like 99 swords. And he's like, he's searching for like an opponent who wants to cross the bridge to fight so he can get his 100th sword. As they reference several times this episode.
Okay, so that's the metal thing.
Yeah, yeah. So it's like, yeah, good reference is good. Always love the mythology stuff. And it's
So
like, yeah, I feel like I've seen it a few times. I don't know what he's actually from though, like what story or anything like that.
yeah, same. So yeah, this is a sillier episode. This is more of like a comic relief after the more serious couple of episodes. Even though it involves a RubberRobo gang like trying to steal medals and stuff, it's not played very seriously.
Welcome to the Anispective cast, where if you have successfully stolen 100 swords, what the crap are you doing with your life? Just
Why are you
give them
stealing all those
back.
swords?
Just give it back, mate. Just you don't need that many. No one needs that many
Gilgamesh.
swords. Freaking Gilgamesh.
I mean, he's probably a direct reference to Benkei.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I was like a move in like his ultimate in like freaking Final Fantasy Dissidia, where he like does the big sword wheel thing on his back, where his like all the weapons are. I don't know if it's like the sword wheel, it's something like that. It has like a bunch of like swords, and it's like a bunch of them are like fakes, and they're Excalibur, and you have to pick the one that's Excalibur, that's like gold. And if you don't pick the right sword, he does like no damage. Because
Oh,
it's
there's
just
like
the gag one.
so there's like an active element to his move.
Yeah, to his ult. Yeah, and friggin' Final Fantasy Dissidia, all the ultimates have an active element to them where you have to do a
Oh,
little
you
mini
mean
game.
okay? You mean actual Dissidia, not like the phone game.
Yeah,
Okay,
the actual like Dissidia like fighting game.
I see. I see.
Yeah, like
Because I was
is
like,
that like Sephiroth to supernova and you have to like hit buttons and crap for it.
okay, yeah. Because I was like, how does that work if you set it to auto battle? Do you just win every time?
Man, I should probably get back into that's the thing. It's like I was super into the phone game for like a while, and I kind of like fell off of it, and then I got back into it, and then I just hit a point where it's like got to the scummy mobile game point of like, oh, I have the team I want. They're like a good team. They're really strong. They're like max level and everything, but because they don't have the best equipment possible, I straight up can't complete this stage. I'm like, damn, that sucks.
I've been playing off and on. Like, I'm not playing it very seriously though. I'm just doing like
Yeah.
the past event things where it's like, here's the new character, just get them, and it's like I'm just doing those.
Yeah, that's probably
It's
a
like
good way of like, yeah.
I like this character, I will get them, and then I'll stop playing for a few days.
Yeah, those are fun. God, I managed to get, like a fairly like serious team going where it's like it was like the freaking like Final Fantasy 13 team for some dumb reason. Because it's like, yeah, they have a good balance to them. Yeah, that was it. Cause it's like, it's freaking Lightning, Fang, and Snow. Because Snow is just straight up a tank who can taunt people, and that's stupidly good for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
And you like, Fang, who is like the debuff stuff that can like, just like lure people's defense and everything. And she can also just straight up like knock people into the air and get free knockbacks, which is really stupidly good. And Lightning can just inflict breaks and get extra turns off of it, which is also stupidly busted feeling. And I believe she also has some kind of like regen thing or so. I forget how. Maybe I was using a song for that. There's some way that I found a way to like basically regen. I think it was just using like Alexander or something as like a limited skill, and it just gave you like a few turns of healing. So it's like, oh, if they go down to low health, I can kind of like get back up, you know?
Yeah, the Alexander summon is what I have equipped, and it's like if your health drops below 50, it activates like regen or something.
Yeah, that's super good. Holy crap.
I don't think I've ever really had to use it though, because my party. I guess it's just standard that you get a character and they start at level 70 for some reason. I don't know
Yeah,
why.
they changed. It's really dumb. I'm gonna be honest. It didn't used to be like that. It used to be like you start at level 1 and there's just massive power creep, but then you get to like level 70 and you start getting like, the like EX versions of moves and stuff, and those were the things they actually balanced. But everything before that was just like good luck. So
So
I
they just
was
said
trying,
screw it.
yeah. So I was trying to like, keep up with like lower level characters early on, play the game where I'd have like a normal challenge all the way through. And they just changed things so you have to use the strongest stuff now. And it's like, oh, well fuck. Okay.
Mm.
I guess I'll do the challenge maps. Oh wait, I can't because like everything is too strong for me now, and I have to literally wait for the next big event to come or I just can't win. Because
Dang.
if like they're non the rotation of like, the actual like, draws, then I can't get the best weapons for my team. And by this point I've invested so much into them that it doesn't make sense to use anything else. So
Yeah,
yeah, that's fun.
like I don't want to use Squall, but I also drew him with like a high star level weapon or something, and it's like I probably should use him though.
Yeah, that's the at least you can like farm EX weapons, even though it does take like way too long to do it using like, the cactars and stuff. But it's
Mm.
like, yeah, the big thing is that it's like there's freaking limited and burst weapons, and you have to like multiple copies to gain those effects as like permanents. Because
Mm.
what they do is they just give you like stupidly high like burst damage and a free extra move that you can use a set number of times, which are basically mandatory if you want to do like really good DPS.
Mm.
So that's nice. That's really nice of them.
Yeah, I've got
Oh man.
Squall, and his weapon is just called Legendary, and he's like glowing all purple, and he looks super
Yeah, that's
strong.
one of the like BT weapons or something.
I also
That's
have Tifa's
yeah.
Crystal Glove, which is hers.
Yeah. Oh man, it's so stupid. Holy crap.
Yeah, I don't know. I should probably just kick Squall out of the party and just use whoever I want.
Yeah, that's what I do. Just pick whoever and just play hard mode because screw it. At least that'll be a kind of a challenge for some extent. At least it'll be kind of at your level.
Yeah. I want to use Final Fantasy 14 characters, but the problem is that they're not the versions of the characters I want to use.
Ah, yeah, that's because I don't know if they've like ever had anyone else, but it's like it's so frustrating because it's like, oh yeah, it's like Papa Melo or whatever the crap his name is, like
Papalymo.
Papa Limo, yeah, but he's like, of course, yeah, we all know it's like, and freaking like old Y'shtola and like Thancred before he gets the gunblade.
Yeah, like Alizé with Red Mage Alizé is a thing you can get, and it's like okay, that's the most
Yeah.
recent version of that character, at least.
Red Mage Alice and like freaking Carbuncle Alpha Node. And it's like, okay, that's pretty good. And it's like,
Well,
and who's
that's
my third option? And it's like, oh, I guess Lise? Sure, why not?
that's the problem is I don't want Carbuncle Alphino. I want Sage Alphino.
Yeah, Sage Alphino is great.
Yeah, but he's not a thing.
Man, if they could just get Sage Alphino, that'd fix so many of my problems. I could have like an actual, like, accurate feeling team. Or just like Gunblade Thancred, you know?
I would like Gunblade
Give
Thancred.
us Gunblade Thancred and make him a tank so it could be like a proper team setup. God, I hadn't like checked in on that game in a while. They may have actually done it for all I know. Or it's like a point where I'm like, I forget what I was like, oh yeah, they're never gonna add another character from Type 0 or whatever, and they just add like Sick, I think, who's like the Scythe girl, and it's like, oh, I guess they did. Alright, sure, why not? And she is a freaking beast. But yeah, that game's like a whole crazy thing. It's nutty. I probably should like hop back on, see what's going on with it, because screw it, why not? I'm not really like invested in AR gotcha bullshit right now.
All the ones I used to be invested in have been shut down.
Yeah, I used to play Princess Connect Redive, and then it died, even though it was apparently really popular. So it's like, oh, well, fuck.
I used to play Magia Record, and then that one got killed. And then I used to play Disgaea RPG, and that one got killed.
I think that's the funniest thing, because I jumped from that to Disgaea, and then it died horribly. And it's like, oh, okay, I guess that's done too. And the only reason I got to Princess Connect Redive is because Digimon died.
Right, yeah, Digimon
yeah,
died
because
too,
Digimon Re-Arise was my thing before that.
Yeah, I didn't really get into Digimon Re-Arise too much, but
oh my god,
I was decently into it until they introduced like EX Digimon, and then I was like,
listen,
ew.
The moral of the day: never pay money for gotchas ever. They will just die, and then you will be screwed.
Yeah, that's kind of the weird thing, though. It's just like because people weren't paying to get stuff, that's why it died. But like if you pay for it, it might die anyways. It's like this whole vicious cycle, and it's like,
don't you just love free to play?
Yeah, and it's like, hey, maybe this gotcha thing you guys keep trying isn't working.
That's the thing. It does work. It's just like when it hits, it's huge, and when it doesn't, it fails, and everyone just gets really frustrated.
Fire Emblem Heroes is still going, and it started before all of these other ones, I think.
Oh yeah, I believe that's like the big thing. That's like, well, of course, it's like it's a very competitive market, so it's like, oh, the people who got in early are the ones who are like doing all the big stuff, and they're the ones making all the money, and everyone else is just kind of like trying to kid in, and it's like, it's just too competitive to be consistent, right? And because it's not consistent, it's like, oh, I guess play something you know is gonna stick around, or just, get fucked.
Disgaea RPG seemed pretty stable until it wasn't. The thing is that Fire Emblem is a big Nintendo property, so people are like, yeah, Fire Emblem.
I have no idea how the heck Sun Deadly Sins is still around.
It must be popular with some people.
It's they put so much effort into it looks like it's so expensive, so I guess that's it. But it's also like, who gives a crap about Sun Deadly Sins anymore,
Yeah, I don't know anything about it, so I've never cared about it.
God.
And like,
it's so funny, because right now they'll just stop and be like, oh, I want to get into a thing or whatever, and just play a toxic gotcha. And I'm like, just thinking, it's like, yeah, what's a series I like that would have really good characters to gotcha with? And it's like, oh yeah, like, Gundam, or like Overlord, or maybe Pokemon, and it's like, none of them exist. Because of course.
Pokemon exists.
Overlord used to exist, and then it died, because of course. And it's like, okay, yeah.
Yeah. It's just...
Is that what Pokemon Master Sex is?
Yes.
Alright, Pokemon Master Sex is gotcha. Got it. I refuse to call it anything else.
Yeah, but you don't just draw for Pokemon. You draw for like a trainer and their partner Pokemon.
Ew.
So it's like, so they'll release like the same character, but hey, look, they're in a different outfit. They've got a different Pokemon partner.
Why do I want to draw people? I just want to draw Pikachu. Like, Well, of course, there's like probably like more Pikachu, but it's like, yeah, I just want to like draw Dragonite or like Charizard or whatever, and just build my like fantasy team, right?
The problem is that Pokemon don't talk unless you're like going mystery dungeon with it. So
Yeah, who cares? Have them play like a soundbite, and then I have them, and then they just do things.
well, no, because they want to do like a story or whatever.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I guess you could do. Actually, all right. Now I'm actually kind of mad because that sounds like it'd be more interesting. Like you draw a freaking Charmander and you get a little story about like it being with the tamer before it met you or whatever, or you'd get a little story about like the Charmander tribe or something, right? Like what was this Pokemon before you like caught it, Like give us the Squirtle that was part of like the fire department. And we have a little story with like the Squirrel fire department or whatever.
I don't, I don't know. I don't even play it. Like I think I have it installed. I don't play it.
Like I'm sure the actual like stories are like fine or whatever. They're probably like about what you expect, which is not saying much, but it's probably like better than nothing.
Yeah.
But it's like, I don't know, man. Like, imagine, like, catching a Caterpie and you have a whole story about how it's, like, a rival Caterpie it has to overcome or something. And it's, like, played out with, like, narration from an outsider, That's so much more fun. Why didn't they just do that? Oh, right, it's because the freaking Cynthia is marketable. Got it.
I mean, the way they're doing it now might be good. You don't know.
I don't know. Exactly.
Yeah.
It just sounds like it'd be worse. In my head, it's like, no, but having like Pokemon stories sounds much more fun than having Tamer stories. Oh man, we are so off topic right now.
Oh yeah, we've been ranting for a little bit.
Listen, we have to find the bridge between the gotcha stuff and the Medabot stuff. We have to find the suspension bridge that'll magically lead us back to the relevant topic at hand. If only there is some
over
way.
With Digimon Re-Arise.
Yeah, crossing over, huh?
Yeah, like a bridge.
Yeah, like Benkei. Like his collecting the swords. And who else doesn't have a sword? Medabots. Yeah. Nailed it.
I mean, he could have a sword. You just need a sword part.
Yeah, he did transfer over his sword part at some point. He does have the capacity to wield a sword. Maybe that'll be the 100th blade. Oh man, but yeah, they like... God, so dumb. So yeah, we're introduced to freaking God, what's his name? Shirokara, I think. Yeah.
I for some reason, while I made an effort to remember Salami's real name, I didn't for this guy.
Yeah, Shirokara. Yeah, surprisingly, Shirokara has a really good win rate this episode.
If what he says is true.
Well, just from my count, because he's on the bridge and he's like, okay, here's my plan. And I don't know if I'm caught for this villain stuff, but I'm just gonna sit on this bridge. And when Medabots comes here, I'll challenge him to a fight and then beat him. Because he has to use the bridge to get to school, right? So he's just challenging people left and right. Yeah. And it's so like,
supposedly in his time doing this and waiting for Icky, he has defeated 99 other people. So he claims. I say so he claims because right at the end of the episode when he loses, he drops like all the medals he won, and there are very clearly not 99 medals there.
Oh, I was referring more to like, we see him take out two separate like guys, yeah.
Yeah, I know you mean like on camera defeats, but still.
Yeah. He did win a lot off screen, but we don't count those. Listen, I'm not gonna go through and individually count every single medal just to make sure he has like 98 wins or whatever the crap.
Yeah.
But yeah, he just straight up
The
beats the gym teacher, and he beats like the student council president again. Which,
both known
yeah,
weaklings, unfortunately.
unfortunately, but yeah, it does show he's like pretty legit. So it's like, yeah, second loss for Digmole and third loss for Doc Study.
That guy just can't catch a break.
He really can't. It's really crazy, actually.
Yeah. So to set up the plot for this episode, obviously big guy here, Shiro, whatever you said his name was,
Shirokara, yeah.
Shirokara, is next up to try to take Medabee's medal. And everyone's just like, "Oh, let me do it. I'll be cut out for the job and I'll win or whatever." And the boss is just like, "Shirokara, you do it," just out of nowhere. And he's just like, "Oh, okay." This dude's in the middle of like trying to find out if he's even cut out to be a part of the gang. He's like looking for other jobs.
Yeah, I'd believe that the boss just chose him because he was the least annoying person at the moment.
Probably, yeah.
God. There is a
So
moment
yeah,
where they're like bantering, and there's like, "Oh yeah, well Salai's totally gonna get like kicked out of the group, right?" And the boss is like, "No, he's not getting kicked out." And they're like, "Oh, well, of course he wouldn't be kicked out." And you see Shirokara's holding like a paper for like job recruitment. That's
yeah.
like, at first I'm like, wait, was he like looking for like his replacement already? But it's like, no, it's a completely different gag.
Yeah. Also, I can understand why he wouldn't kick out. Like, even if Salami failed a couple of times, he's clearly the most competent of these idiots.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So it's just like, yeah, I'm not kicking out him. He messed up, but he's still like smarter than all three of you combined.
We only have so many people who aren't being like physically controlled by the RubberRobo suits. We have to make use of what we got.
Other setup for this episode, we cut to Karin getting out of school, and she's headed for her limo to leave. And there's a little cat on her on the limousine, and she's like, "Oh, I'll just I'm gonna try and feed it super spicy takoyaki," and it doesn't want it. And then she's like, "Okay, I'm just gonna go walk into town and give him to Icky."
Can we just acknowledge that Karin's trying to she's trying to feed super spicy food to a cat?
Yeah, I think she's just kind of a ditch. She doesn't know
Like
any better.
she's so ignorant, and it's like with the crabs. Karin, what the heck? What's wrong with you?
I think it's fine
Oh
because
man.
I'm pretty sure she's not doing out of doing it out of maliciousness. She's
Karin
just kind of a
being
ditz.
just obsessively naive and good natured is still a pretty good gag.
It shines through a lot in this episode.
It really shines through a lot. Cause she goes to help out the cat, and it's like, oh, it doesn't want food, and she's like, all right, I'll just walk home. I'll take the loan because that'll disturb Mr. Kitty. And she just walks home, which is, as we've stated multiple times now, is like a 3-hour walk from school.
At least 2, but yeah.
Yeah, at least 2. But yeah, just on her own, just goes back like, misses where like Icky is, because she wants to go him like the spicy rice balls or more, the spicy takoyaki.
Yeah.
I think that's what it was, yeah.
Yeah, it's takoyaki. It's like takoyaki made with like caviar and lobster.
Oh damn, I just realized Icky had no complaints about it.
His one complaint that he didn't want to voice because Karin gave it to him is that it's way too spicy.
Yeah, he's putting up a front, but yeah, that's when it's really good takoyaki.
He could also just,
yeah.
Again, Karin gave it to him, so he might just be trying really hard to be nice.
I'd believe that if there is a problem with this, Icky will voice his opinions very loudly. He is a takoyaki expert. He is a fanatic. But yeah, so he's just like, we get through that, and he gets the friend talking. No, not that. It's like, yeah, she just goes home. Mrs. like freaking Icky. She sees like Shirokara at the bridge. Yeah, Shirokara.
Yeah.
And immediately she's like, oh, people don't want to cross the bridge, there's something going on, okay, I'll fix this. And she just makes one phone call and has a crosswalk installed, completely ruining their plan.
It's so funny because she just whips out her phone and uses her infinite money to call up an entire
she
construction
just
crew
does
to
it.
install a crossing light
She
and
just
like a crosswalk.
does it immediately. And Shirokara's like, oh god, no, my plan, I'm really not caught for being evil, this is the worst. And he like goes down, he's like, hey, what are you doing? He's like, alright, fine, hey, Benkei, let's just go down, meet at the crosswalk. And he's like, no, I'm Benkei, I'm supposed to be on a bridge, don't you understand? And he's like, damn it.
And it's established that this is like a programming thing for like his type of Medabot, where they if they're on a bridge, they don't want to leave it. They want to fight on the bridge.
It's like, yeah, what's going on, you idiot? Because of you, he's sulking and saying he can't do his job. What's wrong with you?
And then Karin misinterprets this as him pointing at the bridge and saying that the bridge can't do its job.
Dude, it's so good. just have like the misunderstandings in this episode.
You have another picture of it, but yeah, she goes over and she's like hugging the bridge or whatever. She's like, I'm so sorry, I didn't realize what I had done or whatever. It's like, oh my god.
Listen, Mr. Crossing Bridge works really hard every single day to protect us from the road.
I was hoping you got a picture of this.
He's the hardest working guy around. He deserves some like respect too for all he does for us. It's
worth noting that around the time Karin has the crosswalk installed, like Ikki and Medabots are about to walk over to the bridge and they get distracted about rumors of someone fighting somewhere else, and so they just run right when they're about to get there.
Yeah. This episode is just pure Looney Tunes clown world right now.
This is a good one.
She's just like, no, but Mr. Crosswalk does his best. It's just like, oh, no one uses the bridge, what is his purpose? He's just a pile of junk, and she's like genuinely sad about it.
Yeah. So what do you do in this situation? Maybe, I don't know, have the crew uninstall the crosswalk or the crossing light.
Yeah, maybe like, figure out like instead for people to use the bridge, maybe put like a vending machine up there or something.
Nah, how about we just call in an F1 race? What the crap?
Yeah. What?
I don't know, just a loud gunshot sound or something outside.
Oh crap, did we just record a murder?
No, I don't think so.
No, okay, alright. This isn't gonna be a blowout stream.
No, it's fine. Yeah, F1 race cars just on the main road. It's scheduled right through where the crosswalk is so nobody can use it. Karin calls in that. It's like,
oh my
god.
All of the fact that it's like because of this, everyone's just gathered around to watch the race, which just makes things like more inconvenient for everybody. And it's like, oh, all right.
Everyone's trying to cross the bridge all at once.
Yeah. Oh man. So yeah, it's like now the bridge is extra populated and they can't keep people from going past, so like Shirokara has to like actually help them get by, and he has to actually help like the children and be a good person. And he's like, yeah, no, maybe I am Barkraut for this Robo. And you know what? I can see it. He probably could make a good crossing guard.
Hey, it's kind of like the Sakekasu thing where it's just like, if he would just not be evil, he'd probably be pretty successful.
Yeah, if you just like, Sakekasu has a level of Riz I will never understand.
It's so weird. He was there for like one day and the lady fell in love with him immediately. It's like, what the heck?
She fell for him to the point where when he left, she was in tears and she can't get over him. And they barely even had lunch together.
crazy.
Holy crap. Listen, Shirokara, whatever his name is? No, Shirokara, yeah. I'm thinking of the art guy, Sakekasu, yeah. If
Yeah.
Sakekasu was just like, if he just went and became like a male model or something, he could probably make it in the industry. I'd believe it. Like,
I
that's what the
mean,
show is telling me, like, might happen. He has that natural charisma to him, you know? Like, he has to have a good face or something. He's got something going on that we don't understand.
yeah.
Oh, man.
But yeah, just orders a race right through there.
Jeez.
And it's at this point that Icky actually does show up.
This episode's gonna be a mess.
Oh yeah. What is right? He runs to the Kari and is like, "Oh, there you are, Icky. Here's these super crazy hot takoyaki that I made." And then he's just like, "Oh, they're great. I'm dying. They're great."
Icky shove in the takoyaki and use his newfound fire breath to burn the bridge down.
Yeah,
killing
he does,
hundreds of innocents.
Yeah, he does try to like talk while it's in his mouth, and he's like spits out flame and he covers his mouth and it stops. I don't know. It's a funny visual gag.
Yeah. Oh, I've always liked the dumb gag of like, oh yeah, spice equals fire breath.
Literal fire.
Yeah, it gets a lot of good play. It's a fun one. But it's like, yeah, so just, it's like, alright, no one can use the bridge, no one can use the crosswalk, everyone's stuck, and the guy finds Icky, and he's like, oh wait, yeah, there's the guy I need to find. Alright, fine, let's actually do this for real. Let's clear a path.
So I think it's at this point that Karin gives like the big explanation about the bridge.
Yeah, she
like,
gives
she's
the
explaining
because he's about to give up.
Yeah, she gives this whole speech, and like not only does it move Shirokasa or whatever, Shirokara. Not only does it move Shirokara, it gets to Medabots too. And he's just like, "Oh, we're both scraps of metal, and it's like we both have to do our jobs or whatever."
Mr. Bridge is like, not very smart, and he's kind of like, whatever. He's kind of like crude, but he does his best, and he does what he's supposed to, and he puts in the work to do the best he can do every day for the sake of it. And as long as Mr. Bridge knows where he belongs, he'll be okay. I believe in him. And Shirokara is going through his midlife crisis. It's like on the verge of tears. It's so good. Oh god.
Gonna say it again. This show is hilarious.
Jeez. We finally see what Shirokara looks like without the outfit.
Yeah, it's a look.
Maybe you shouldn't be a crossing guard.
Probably wear a hat.
Yeah, maybe wear a hat. Yeah, maybe get like a wig, I think that's like a bare minimum. Like, little like safety hat maybe would work pretty well. Yeah, you'd probably like explain that way. Honestly, it looks like he would be a pretty good teacher though. Like he has that vibe about him.
It does look like a teacher.
You go into class, you see someone like this, it's like, alright, this is about what I expected, but also I do not want to mess with this man.
He is huge.
He is huge, as that crazy scar, but also like, yeah, he has the weird, ugly like face, and it's like, yeah, he looks like someone who would be used to dealing with kids.
Yeah. Also, I would believe he got that scar from something super mundane.
Absolutely.
Just like a random, like nothing like dangerous he was doing. It was just an accident.
God, have you ever heard of like, the whole deal with Food Wars? I've probably talked about this at some point.
I'm aware of what Food Wars is about, I think.
Yeah, the main character has a very distinct scar over his like, freaking eyebrow.
I didn't, but now I do.
Yeah, it's like, it's always there. It's always like, whenever he's like anthropomorphized into a character or an animal or something, it's always on his face. It's a distinct part of
Uh,
his character. And throughout the series, it's like, okay, does this mean something? Is this gonna like, matter? Eventually, at the very end, like not in the canon series, but in like a side like chapter after the end that I don't think was even animated, they finally explain what the deal is. And it's literally just like when Soma was a kid, one day he was working in the kitchen and they just fell over and banged his face on the table.
Sick.
That's it. After all this time, that's what it was.
The writer probably, like the creator of the series, probably just drew him with it. Just like,
He
here's
just
a
drew him
neat,
with a little scar, and he's like, "Yeah."
here's a neat character design quirk. And then people were like, "Oh, what's the scar? So mysterious." He's just like, I guess I'll write something.
I think what's extra funny is this character has an evil brother whose entire gimmick is knives. So
I
it's
see.
like people are like, "Oh, was this a thing? Is this like does this play into it, And it's like, "Oh, maybe there's like something here, or maybe there's like a knife accident or something knife related because there's a lot of like focus on knives near the end." And it's like, "Oh no, he just banged his head on the table."
It's just an accident.
It's just like a random cooking accident. Didn't even mean anything. It just happens. Just
Incredible.
happened. Oh god. Jeez, that final arc is oh boy. If you've never seen Food Wars, get ready for some really good manga, and then get ready for it to fall apart really hard and then become some of the most insane bullshit you've ever seen. Because holy crap, like that's the thing is that like you would expect them to cool down when they're running out of ideas. Instead, they just double down and floor it on the bad ideas.
Oh
The
man.
stuff that
What was
feels
the
like too stupid.
what was the reason they lost their writer or something? But they
Yeah,
wanted to
there's
continue it anyways.
so the reason was that like the person who's like their cooking specialist, if I remember right, the person who comes up with like
Ah,
the recipes and stuff, and handles the actual like food side of it. And if I remember right, she had to go on like maternity leave.
okay.
Yeah, so it was just a very unfortunate like series of events coupled with like the Rhine already starting to kind of like go into decline just from like, the pressure of like keeping up a weekly series with, let's be real, some pretty damn god tier artwork. Food Wars looks like incredible. So it's like
Okay.
that
So
could have been like easy, and then yeah.
okay. So if I ever watch Food Wars, or I'm never gonna read it. If I ever
Yeah.
watch Food Wars, I'll probably just find out where they quit, where their food like expert left, and just
Your
stop
your
watching.
experience will be the anime degrading as the manga does.
Ugh.
So it starts out really good. If I remember, I think like season 2 is also really strong, And it's like some around like season 3 or season 4, you just get into a big event and it's like, there's just a shot of like 30 Chinese chefs like working in unison in like their own little like, work sections, chopping food and stuff, and they're all wearing like like martial arts outfits and stuff, and it is the worst fucking CG, and the tables are CG, and it's just over like a weird moving like colored background in space, and it is rotating in the worst looking way possible because they didn't know how to shoot it.
Good lord.
It looks so bad, and that's the point where you're like, okay, yeah, this series is falling apart. This
Time to
is
tap
this is
out.
gonna get worse from here. It just keeps going.
Just look up how the series resolves. It's just like, yep, that's all I needed.
I genuinely believe that you need to experience the end of Food Wars to truly understand how insane it is. There's there is a point where the concept of food crimes is introduced. As like these people come from the dark world of the Food Network, you know? These people are from the culinary underworld, and we have to beat the dark criminal chefs that serve like the mob and stuff.
Good. Ugh.
It's like, hey, remember when the stakes for like, you know, like this guy has a club that means a lot to him that you get invested in, and he's trying to win his club back, and you can like care because you care about that character's struggle. It's like really
Mhm.
personal and relatable, and you just cut to like freaking military uniform dominatrix girl cutting meat with a chainsaw. I think the funniest part is she like blasts it with explosives, and that food ends up being like an elaborate freaking Dragon Quest reference. Because of course it's like, yeah, they eat the food and they have like a whole weird gag of like, oh, the food is so good, it's like this, and they're in some fan servicey situation.
Mhm.
It's bafflingly, I think that's like Dragon Quest slash like Santa Claus or some shit.
Weird.
It's the weirdest crap. I don't even
That
really,
is,
it's like, it's so, yeah.
there is kind of a fan servicey element to Dragon Quest, because there is a charm stat, and charm stat
Yeah.
is usually boosted by like more revealing outfits and such.
Like for you or for the opponent?
Like you use your charm stat to do like status effects and attacks and stuff.
Alright, is, wait, is there an actual value on them, or is it like...
Like I haven't played around with it too much, but like that's one of, I think that's one of Sylvando's like things is charm.
Okay, yeah, huh. Well, heck yeah for that. But also I'm like, now I'm just curious, because it's like, wait, is there like a literal number that you could see where it's like, yo, the charisma number on the outfit or whatever, it tells you like how revealing the outfit is?
Oh, when I say that, I mean it's like it'll be like dresses or like swimsuits,
Oh, it's
maybe.
like a
Like
specific like type that, okay, yeah, like you'll just see it and you'll know. Okay,
there
yeah.
there's a bunny girl outfit for one of the characters.
Yeah, that's what I'm curious about. Is like if there's like some bit of description where that's like, okay, this is obviously better for charm than this thing, right?
Yeah, they have like the armor and stuff have stats on them. Yeah.
Oh man, now I'm really curious. Actually, I really need to play Dragon Quest at some point. I really need to give it a try because apparently the
I
games are really good, and like Cookie said a lot of good things about them.
I haven't finished 11, but I like what I've played.
Yeah, everything I hear out Sylvando is just like just fantastic.
The only thing is that I think I've heard that Sylvando is not very good as a fighter,
I
but
weirdly
but
I've
as a
heard that.
character,
Yeah,
he
weirdly
falls
I've
off, is what I've heard.
okay, that makes more sense because weirdly I've heard they like starts off with a lot of like really good stuff, and he's just like a really good support character.
Yeah, he
So
starts with a
it's like,
bunch of
yeah,
skills, but I've heard he falls off.
okay, yeah, that's interesting.
I could be
Huh?
wrong though.
Yeah,
I
okay.
don't know.
Man, so jeez, Sylvando just seems so good because it's like everyone's like, oh yeah, he's just great and he's wacky and goofy and he just wants to bring smiles to people, but he actually is like a good like emotional core to his character and everyone loves him, and yo, the people around him are really cool and supportive, and it just makes you like him even more.
Savondo's a great dude.
Yeah, he's just a great dude. And he's just going out there and killing it. God, I think that says a lot that it's like I know nothing about any of these characters except for Sylvando and what little I vaguely remember from the movie.
Mm.
It's like there's no point where it's like, oh yeah, you know, this guy's like the Cloud Strife of Dragon Quest. And he's like the big noble. It's like, no, it's just Sylvando. It's just Sylvando. Oh man. But yeah. Crap, yeah, Mabi fights Benkei and then he just uses Force and wins.
Okay, so I do want to talk a little bit more about the fight because it is actually really like cool and choreographed really
Oh
well.
yeah,
Like,
it actually is a good fight, yeah.
yeah. Also, Mr. Referee shows up. Like he's like, oh wait, okay. So in the first one, he shows up and he was dressed as like a woman shopping. He turns his head and
Yeah.
it's Mr. Referee.
He's just one of the random like passerbys at the store and he's just waiting for the Robel.
Yeah.
And this one, it's like, we should
How
probably
does he
mention that.
appear?
It's like he
Does he
appears
even
like
appear in
that
the
and he
second
gets.
episode?
Well, no, in the second
Oh, he
episode,
does.
does he?
Oh wait,
No, yeah, he does because
no.
it's an official thing,
Wait,
isn't it?
I don't know that he. Yeah, he must
Does
show up.
he?
I don't remember what he's dressed as. He does show up a second time in the first one though via
Yeah.
ambulance.
Yeah, because he gets hurt and he just shows up via ambulance in like a cast.
I don't. He must have shown up in the dojo, but I don't remember what he was dressed up
Maybe
like.
he did. Maybe they just got the part unofficially, you know?
Maybe I don't remember. It must not have been that funny or impressive.
This one's pretty good though, because he flies in this traditional Japanese garb because Benkei.
Yeah.
And he just lands on the bridge. And he's like, Medabots! And he starts falling off the side of the bridge. And he's just clinging onto the edge. And he's like, there's like all the F1 cars racing below him.
Yeah, Karin like presses a button or something, and it turns off the race.
Yeah, it's like for a second she accidentally created the most dangerous situation possible for Mr. Referee. Oh man. Listen, Mr. Referee, you're cool, you're strong. I don't think you would survive that.
Probably not. But yeah, the race gets turned off. We get a cool shot where Medavi's fighting Benkei, and he's like backstepping on like the top of the side railing of the bridge while Benkei swings his halberd at him.
Surprisingly way more mobile than I was expecting.
Yeah. There's a cool shot where Medavi fires his missiles at Benkei, and he takes a club and bats the missiles away.
Yeah. There's a really good bit where it's like Benkei shoots a chain at, like wraps her around Mebi, and there's like a really cool shot of Mebi using his guns to like shoot the chain apart.
Yeah, it's so weird because it's like this big goofy episode, and then the fight in the end is actually really cool.
Oh yeah, it's really good. They like, go through a whole thing. He like swings the sword, destroys the bridge, and Mabi gets so pissed off he activates the Metaforce.
Yeah, and he fires his big beam and defeats I'm just gonna call him Benkei because I don't remember what his full name is.
It's so goofy as a gag, but it's also like, man, the Metaforce really does mean nothing now, does it? You just do it. Yeah, it's Go
they're
Benkei.
Using it for
That's his name.
Go Benkei. Okay. They are using it for comic relief, so yeah, clearly the writers don't intend for you to think too seriously about it.
Yeah, we're at the point where it's like, all right, he can just do this when he feels like it.
Yeah, Medabi fires the beam and defeats Go Benkei, but he also destroys part of the bridge. He's like, "What have I done?" And he's like falls to his knees, and he's like all upset.
Yeah, they wreck that bridge. Holy crap. Like, Carrot has to be like, it's okay, Bubby, the bridge will be repaired. Hard cut to everyone who has to actually cross as the race is going.
Yeah, the race, like, turns back on or something.
Yeah, was this? Oh, yeah, and then we have this bit at the end. Because it's like, meanwhile, Koji actually is going to train with Space Meta Fighter X, who... I'm calling it now, totally is not related to him at all.
I mean, the hair, like, I don't think he is, even though he looks really similar to him.
Yeah, especially seeing them next to each other with this context, it's like, alright, there's probably something going on there.
I don't think so. I think it's just a coincidence, but I don't know, because he's never regarded Hikaru in any special way, so it's like,
yeah, not until now. Oh
also,
wait,
I think this
Hikaru's
happens.
yeah.
Hikaru is the shopkeeper.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe it's like Koji doesn't know, but Hikaru does.
I don't know. Whatever the case, I think this happens earlier in the episode because the big thing at the end is Rintaro showing up and just like, hey, Koji's training with Space Metafighter X to learn the Metaforce or learn how to beat the Metaforce. Also, this part's weird because it's like he's just in his house. It's like why isn't Koji just like, why are you in my house?
Yeah.
It's
Man.
so weird.
But yeah, honestly, I do like this. I feel like this is like as far as they could have pushed this before it gets annoying. It's like, okay, the Metaforce is really strong and it's overpowered and it just like one-shots everything immediately. Like, it's literally a win bun. So it's like, okay, hey, like, Koji, you want to beat Medabots? Okay, let me tell you the strategy to get around the Metaforce. So it's like, okay, so there's gonna be like actual counterplay to this. It's not gonna be just a win bun forever. There's actually a way to deal with it that makes sense, seemingly.
Also Koji just has like a hollow deck in his mansion because of course he does.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he does ask the Medabot professor out the Metaforce, and he's like, oh yeah, you can't do it because you don't have a rare medal. And it's like, yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, he's just like, teach me how to do it. And it's like, Similodon doesn't have rare medals. He can never do the Metaforce. And then Metafighter X is just like, hey, I can teach you how to beat it, though.
Yeah, it's not impossible. It's just gonna be very difficult. But you can totally pull it off. And I'm just kind of curious, like, was the means going to... Are they gonna have to, like, attack him while he's charging up, you know? Is it to, like, keep the pressure on? Is there a way to, like, know it's coming and dodge the attack? Because I have to imagine this is going to result in a fight where it's like, you know, Ikki tries to use the Metaforce and then Koji gets the upper hand, right?
Probably. But I'm going to say, like, I don't know, temper your expectations. It might not be much.
Yeah, because I'm imagining, like, in my head, it's like, alright, is this going to be, like, something very simple that anyone can do that's going to be part of, like, the actual battle strategy now, where it's like, okay, we'll be fighting a robot and they'll be trying to do something to keep you from using the Metaforce? Or is this going to be like, you know, it just happens when it happens, and when we hit the serious fights, then we're going to do it, like, once or twice, and they'll be able to avoid it, like, once? Because it's hard to say with the show. It's hard to say what's going to be a gag and what's going to be, like, a serious, actual, like, thing that's going to, like, carry over into the future.
I think it'll be a real thing that it's like, yeah, you can use this to beat the Metaforce, but it's
how
like...
seriously are they going to take this, I wonder?
Serious enough, but they might play it not too seriously.
Yeah.
Like, in the long run. I don't know.
I know, it's really weird. It's really interesting. But yeah, I guess we'll see where that goes next week then.
Yep.
But yeah, any our thoughts on this episode?
Not really. It's funny. It's a really funny episode, I think.
Yeah, honestly, that's about right. But yeah, I guess I'll see you guys around.
Yep. Later.
Later.